rise up to a brand new
Welcome back to
dawning.
Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates and Viewers. We are coming to you live from Standards Distributors out here in Canaan, Tobago. So thank you for staying with us. And of course, we want to thank the management and staff of Standards for allowing us to be here this morning. Now, for my next conversation, I'll be chatting with Mr. Shawn Roberts, of course, and he is the Managing Director of the Recycling and Waste Logistics Limited company here in Tobago, as we are talking about recycling, what's happening with recycling in Tobago, and some good things that are coming up. So good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Roberts. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Kandace. How are you? That's good to know. Thanks for being here. Well, basically, I heard an interview this morning. Sorry, not this morning. Earlier this week, around Monday. When the former Secretary for Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and the Environment
Yes.
mentioned about recycling is dead in Tobago, right? So that came from some members of the public to my attention, if recycling is dead in Tobago, right? I mean, basically, it may have some truth to it in that basically is the support for recycling in Tobago is basically gone dead, right? In that 5.2 million have been disbursed and have been allocated and disbursed to the Environmental Management Authority, the EMA, for development of recycling in Tobago. And what had happened is that the out of the 5.2 million up till April last year, we only received 30% of that. That is less than 2 million, right? And the other 70%, that was spent otherwise by the EMA. That was reused. So basically the support for recycling stopped, and is something that, you know, that's basically what I can see where it's gone dead. But other than that, I mean, it's still operating. I mean, because of that stop in the funding, if you notice the public education activities like the pop-ups and the school program, even like the plant tours and all these other activities, all of that basically had stopped.
Yes.
Right? So what happens is that, you know, we have to now navigate, you know, without the support, and we're not even sure if they're going to continue supporting TRI, right? So that is something, but
recycling is still happening.
Yeah, it's still happening. I mean, well, forgive me, you know that's how I work with my notes, because sometimes when I'm giving information, I just want to make sure that that I have the information proper, right? So in fact, from May till November last year, right? The EMA still have expenses that related to recycling for us, and we're still waiting on the payments, right? The past 3 months was a bit of cat and mouse, like they're marking papers and stuff with documents before they, you know, think about processing payments and stuff. So we're still waiting. So contractors that was working with the program, even workers as well, still waiting on monies, even us as well. So, but I mean, the plant is still running, although we're on bare bone staff. I mean, the bins are still being cleared, although the division, you know, handling that for the interim. So, but basically, I could see that when the former secretary talked about where you could contribute $1 million towards recycling operations for a year, you know, that have truth to it. Because I can tell you from since 2021, when the EME came on board as a partner with the eye care project, because we are zone 6 of eye care, they had we basically spent a bit less than $1 million a year, right? And we was able to still reach a few milestones where
you guys have been exporting and so on.
Yes.
Still, so you're getting some revenue from that though.
Yeah, we're still getting some revenue from it, although it could be, more. Because of the various constraints that we're experiencing, that's why it's not happening as frequent as you want. But I can give you some figures, and every quarter we'll be reporting that information to the public.
Okay.
So that way is that the public needs to know exactly what's happening with the recycling. So from November 2020 till February, we collected 104,534 bags. That is equivalent to 362 tons. So the TRI Recycling Center processed 345 tons of recyclables. And up till February, we exported 276 tons of that material, right? The litter eradication program, which is associated with TRI, who do the roadside cleanup and stuff, and the public bins, their recycling rate went up by 60%, right? So even the contamination rate, what goes into the bins around Tobago, the 40 bins, is only 5% of, other waste we experience. So to operate with a budget for less than $1 million for a year, to get that done. Whereas in Trinidad, the eye care project, they're operating for 9 years. We operating this November, this year, going to make it 4 years of care in operation. But the eye care operating for 9 years in Trinidad, and they spend like over 60 million. And still, as much as they're saying that they collected over 3 million bags and stuff, but the question is how much tonnage that is equivalent to, how much is being processed, and how much is being exported. But all you can really see is the reports showing that the disposal rate in Trinidad is still going up while Tobago is going down, because our recycling rate since this year had increased by 8%. Right? So every year you're seeing a gradual increase. So how we reach 8% this time, that is to show that we can be able to show that something is going on, right? So that is why, and you see, there's no secret. Everybody know that most of the recyclables are being recycled back into the landfill. So
at least Tobago is doing things differently and really
exactly
taking the environment into concern.
And in addition to that, you can't really blame, because Swimcall actually is the process partner in Trinidad, while we at RWL here deals with the processing in Tobago. You see, you can't really fault Swimcall for that happening, because before we came to Tobago, we supported them for about 2 years, from 2016 to 2018, as a co-processor. And we have seen the kind of materials that come to the facility, right? And you see, that have a lot to do with your public education program. Right. If it is flawed, you will get the kind of response that you expect. And
I would say that in Tobago we've been doing an okay job with our public education program, and it's showing, because as you said, we had an 8% increase in the recyclables that have been collected, and of course those are going out. But I want to focus a little bit on what is next for taking into consideration the drop in funding and trying to sort that part of it out,
Yes.
what is the next goals? Let's talk about for this year. What is the goals for the end of the year?
I mean, the goals for the year is to increase the percentage, which I now maintain it above 8%. And if by next year that could be 15%, even better. But what the main focus is to more increase production, so that at least what we receive is what we processing and what we exporting. And of course is to more upgrade the infrastructure, you know, because one of the key things that will be a major challenge to reaching those goals. You see, when you have a regulator that is operating basically a nationwide project, right, like this, what has been the key challenge is that they are the key stakeholder of information. So they report to the Green Fund Execution Unit and the Line Ministry. So you don't know what information is disseminated. And then in addition to which is that funding at least was allocated for recycling, right? So, but really and truly for other organizations, because we would like to see other organizations get involved in it, but it's a major challenge because if you go to apply for the Green Fund for recycling, because EMA have the IKEA project, the Green Fund Execution Unit don't duplicate projects. So that is why you see for expansion is a major threat. So that is why to be able to get more people involved is that it even like with investor confidence and stuff, if they see a failed project, they will hardly want to support it.
So will you say that it's a failed project now?
Which one? Not TRI. Not TRI.
Okay.
Not at all. I mean, for the constraints that we're experiencing, I mean, I still find that we are doing pretty good, you know, to keep it. What I mean basically is that you need to the wheels to be oiled and so that it can move a lot faster. So that is why, you know, we have to, you know, work the various strategies in expanding. Because one of the most important aspects is that once you can be able to operate and continue with whatever resources available, that is key. Because even the Caribbean, I was in Dominica, the OECS and United Caribbean, they're doing a recycle demonstration project in 3 islands: St. Lucia, Dominica, Grenada. I was sent there. I almost spent Christmas in Dominica and St. Lucia last year. I was over there where we facilitated the first export of recyclables out of Dominica, because they are the only island that actually do curbside collection of recyclables. And so while I was there, we more exchange ideas of the public educational strategies and stuff, and even for them to increase and enhance their productivity for international export standards. So what had happened since after that first export, Dominica have ramped up the public education drive. Is to see an entire island that is involved where they have the private sector now adopting schools, you know, with the program. So I'm interested in adopting some of their strategies there.
And then you have been doing some work with the schools, because you've had recently some of the schools coming through and working along and getting exposed to the whole idea of recycling.
Well, you see, one of the key things that why you have to get the youth involved is that you have to, when you see they are fully aware as to what happens with the material, and they get to experience operating the machines and all that stuff, that is where they develop an appreciation for recycling. Because recycling, I mean, yes, it's good to go into the school and introduce them to recycling, but you want to take it further where they can come and actually experience the facility. Not only schools, even visitors to the island too can actually come and take a look. Because, I mean, it's a public-private partnership with,
Yep.
and it is only, in all fairness, that the public is involved in the entire process, because you don't want to be operating as though like it's a mystery.
Right.
Because that is something that, you know, when we came to Tobago, we didn't want it to adopt that same practice in Trinidad where, okay, you're seeing material collected, you're not sure what happens to it, you're hearing talk, and people see stuff, and it's like, you know, I mean, with IKEA, they talk about they say it's a collection project. So processing is not part of their thing.
But that's what we're doing here in Tobago, and I mean, and we got to wrap up the conversation now. But of course, you know, just assuring people that, you know, the recycling is still happening. Still bring in your bottles, and I mean, and we'll see what happens in the near future.
Yep, and we will be every quarter, as I said, we'll be reporting the data, and when we're doing the next plant tour, we'll invite you guys to come and be part of it. So let's stay tuned.
All right, great news to hear. All right, so thank you so much, and viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this, and of course, we are here live at the Standard Distributors place here out here in Kandace, Tobago. So we'll see you after the break.